one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Welcome to Discover Crypto in the Blockchain Basement 1 p.m. show, folks. I am your host, Druth, and on this show, we put God, family, country, and crypto first and foremost. We're going to dive into some amazing charts today. One of the main projects in my portfolio is gigascending. Literally right now, absolutely ridiculous, unhinged upside, folks. Where's it at? Where's it at? Let me get wins in the chat for anyone that's holding Aerodrome or Morpho right now. We're going to take a look at what the charts look like at the moment, but honestly, there is much, much more in store. Ooh, we got a lot going on here. George's favorite Playboy. What's up, Papa Gooth? Yeah, this is an incredible day. This is a fantastic day. Obviously, as you can see over my shoulder, Avalanche is going ballistic as well. $33 Avalanche. Cardano is almost $1. So, whoa, there's probably going to be celebrations in the streets. It's going to be huge, right? It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Welcome to the show, you guys. I got so many chats up in front of me here. Hey, you guys that know everything. Some people are talking about the big pullback. I don't see it. Do you? I'm looking for it. I'm still looking for it. Gustavo, Madman Manuro, Jeremiah Dixon, Laserface, Stacy Lewis, Dank Crypto Sweats, Ninja Glock, Jeremiah Dixon, Jabel, Ian, Deontay, Eloy, John Doe, Aloysius, Hermonov, or Hernanov. I think that's how you say your name. And then over in the Discord, I got the Discord chat going as well as two pump fun chats here. We are going ballistic with this stream, you guys. Welcome to the show. We got a lot to cover here today on the episode. We have the possible return of Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX gigantic scandal that really put the nail in the coffin and led us into one of the most painful bear markets in crypto history. Might be making a comeback here. Some great altcoin charts to look at, as well as taking a look at where Bitcoin is. Does it have more gas in the tank, or is that 118,000 roundabout number that we called to look for yesterday? It hit that level, but is it out of gas? We're going to take a look at that and more. Whew, I am jazzed, guys. I am super excited. Let's get into it. This is where you can follow me on Twitter at Druth Crypto. I do late night shit posting. I watch World War II movies, and you can find all of my posts here, all of my inside thoughts. You know, I was really giving some shit to Jimmy Kimmel. I was going after the Krasenstein brothers last night. You know, it was all over the place. I get after it. Sometimes I feel a little bit frisky, and you can follow me there to find me. So let's look at the general markets, you guys. Things are getting hot and heavy. I'm sweating looking at these charts. Woo! All right, so Bitcoin, sure. But Aster, main gainer of today, up 280% in 24 hours. Now coming in at 71 cents. I know some in the Discord popping in. I was talking about having some FOMO at around 50 cents. You know, I needed to eat some food though. You know, and you know, it's okay. It's okay. We were in a Morpho long yesterday. I clipped it for like 40%, but holy God, Morpho is absolutely sending today. Let's go look at the charts a little bit more. Pudgy Penguins looking good to Wall Street here. Immutable X is blast from the past, up 19% over the last 24 hours. Altcoin putting up 13%. SPX 6900, a lot of juice. But look at this Avalanche, number 6, top pumper, and that's a big old market cap to be making it to the top 6 of the pumpers in the altcoin sector. We might need to take a look at Near Protocol, see if it's making a comeback here. It's only up 10% on the week, 11% on the day, though. And sweet, just under $4. Honestly, things are looking really, really beautiful in the alt sector. Let me know, have you already packed your bags leading up to this cataclysmic, wonderful moment? Or are you going to be chasing green candles looking for that pullback? Okay, I want to know. Oh boy, VZ Fat Cat, I'm about to get in a fight in the parking lot. Tony pulled right behind me and almost rammed into me again. Will cooler heads prevail, VZ? Cooler heads prevail. You gotta be out of jail to be able to cheat your tokens, right? So that's part of the name of the game, I'd say here. So make sure you stay available and out in the world, dude. Man, this is an incredible day. Drift also. I had to call Isaac this morning. Drift isn't on the top pumpers list because it is so deep down the market cap list here. But Drift with an honorable mention here, 96 cents, just under $1. Now it's moving to $1. Isaac's probably feeling pretty dang good. Drift isn't on the list for the top pumpers within the top 100 because it is a smaller market cap at number 162. Absolutely sending, right? This is where all the hardcore believers that were getting in on these tokens when they weren't pumping, when they weren't going nuts, they're going to be reaping the rewards. They're going to be dancing on the hills. Oh, man, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's look at the charts, you guys. Let's look at Bitcoin first and foremost, the leader of the crypto realm. Now, right now, it hit about $117,929. So I told you it was going to $118,000 yesterday. Well, all the fair weather fans, the weathermen, the male astrologist said, "Oh, we're just going to chop. It's there's no way to tell which way it's going to do." Put my schlong on the table. Told you we're going to 118. I missed it by $60. Now we're actually trying to build up momentum above $117,000 mark. Looking pretty good. Let's actually look at the larger time frames here on the daily. Just a beautiful day to be alive. Green dot, fresh green dot on the hourly, or on the daily rather. Money flow just peeking its little pecker into the green. Lots of room to go on the daily here. Lots of room to go on the daily for Bitcoin. Lots of room. I'm thinking that we're actually, this is the turbulent zone. That's why I was looking at 118, run into this old volume, fight for our right to party, and then make a punch up to previous all-time highs right at around $124,000. Now, if you have been liking the content, you're liking knowing what the hell is going to come next in crypto and one of the most volatile asset classes on the planet, please do me a favor, like the stream and share the stream out. Okay. I work really hard for you guys. Gave some trade calls, but I was so hungry this morning, I didn't have time to monitor them. They turned out absolutely incredible. I'm seeing people print money faster and heavier than the literal Federal Reserve up in the Discord. Shout out to you. And I also will drop the link in our chat here and in the description to find the Discord, because there was a guy on the blockchain basement chat yesterday that was actually asking for that. He couldn't find the Discord. So you got to get in there. And I do have the news, Ricky Romero, on why Morpho is pumping so hard. But let's keep on moving through the charts here. Here is that glorious chart that I'm talking about. Morpho. Oh my God. Let's see here. So pumped by about 14.3% over the span of about a half an hour. Okay. Major news come out from Coinbase, from the Base network. Looks like it's one of the chosen few. And here's a short summary of that from Coinbase Duck. Major unlock in DeFi, expecting on-chain borrowing to be cheaper as more liquidity comes into Base. Coinbase users earn 10.8% or 2.5x of money market funds. Morpho Labs to benefit the most from the major increase in TVL. Everything is done in the app. No wallet is needed. On-chain finance no longer the same after this. This is a hybridization of, what we know, DeFi, and kind of having to control your own keys, all those technological mechanisms that we have to utilize to get access to DeFi. Morpho, Coinbase kind of wipe those away, right? They're easing the path. They're opening the flow for institutional cash to come in and get loans on Bitcoin. This is the type of movement that we needed to see that God candle. Now, this Morpho chart, though juicy, it's going to fall. It's going to find its levels, but we really need to back up because I'll get that last trade out of the way because that's just nightmare zone, right? Made like 40% off of it. But I do have a very good spot bag of this project as well. So I'm feeling absolutely fantastic seeing this. This zone right here at about $2.28, going to be real sticky. We did overshoot this, right? Just a touch. But we've come right back down to it. We are in the turbulent zone currently in this pump. Do still keep this trend line in mind that Morpho has been riding along up into the right off of, but things are looking juicy. And there's a reason why we're seeing not only the news about the integration of Morpho, but also Bitcoin dominance is falling off of a cliff. So we're going to take a look at that as well. We got to, we got to look at this. And also, I did see some life coming to the Ondo chart, right? People were talking to me this morning. I didn't enter the trade. I just called it, and God, it pumped real hard. We were in the Discord early morning, pre-market. It pumped by about 3.6%. Now it is found that in midterm level, and actually it's trying to pump even harder now. I do want to look at where Bitcoin dominance is. Let's read what the talking heads on the mainstream media / crypto media are talking about with this Bitcoin dominance fall up. But as we see Bitcoin dominance really falling apart, I'm seeing potential partnerships come about from some of the big altcoins, maybe Avalanche and Solana linking up. We might even see Cardano and XRP joining forces. We're going to take a look at all of this. This is such a crazy day. It's going to be a lot of content today. Going to be a lot of content. Now, Bitcoin dominance slipping as altcoin rally takes hold. How low will it go? According to Stacey Jones over at Decrypt, let's have a look at what she thinks here. Bitcoin dominance dropped to 57.79%. As traders rotated into altcoins like XRP, BNB, bam, all-time highs for BNB. BNB hit $1,000 a piece very, very recently. And Solana is eyeing that previous all-time high at 290 right now. Got some people looking at that trade. Things are going insane. Things are going insane ahead of the expected SEC ETF approval. So despite the decline, analysts forecast Bitcoin could reach $140,000 to $145,000 by year's end. Higher, okay? Higher. I say higher. I'm actually thinking by year's end we could accomplish around 170 to 200, with institutions continuing to pour over $2 billion into ETFs this week. Major altcoins outperforming Bitcoin short term, with Solana up 35% over the past month. And of course, BNB with that mention of new all-time highs above $1,000. And these are the charts that we've been searching for, folks. Hello. Is it these charts we're looking for? Bitcoin dominance. Let's go. Bam. Weekly. Okay. Don't care about anything else but the weekly on Bitcoin dominance, me personally. And that's what we want to see, folks. A failed move to clamber and find that support. I want to see this. Imagine what these charts on our altcoins are going to look like if this continues to follow my expected path down to a 50% Bitcoin dominance. Okay. Imagine how low this thing could go. Quite a thing to think about. Quite a thing to think about. Now, there's been a lot of disbelief. And what I want to say is that on this Bitcoin dominance chart, there's an old trend line here that, we only have 2 data points where it's built upon. This is, unlikely, in my opinion, to breach below 50%. I think institutional ETFs, talks of nation state reserves, things of that nature are going to help buoy up Bitcoin's dominance above this threshold of, right at 50%. If we drop down below here, that means the moon bags of altcoins that I'm going to leave behind when I G'd everything around this zone are going to go absolutely ballistic. Absolutely ballistic. So, shout out to you, Jay Davis. This is the best news show. Like the show better than all. I mean, Easy works hard too, but I appreciate your I appreciate your support very, very much, man. I work very hard for you guys. Now, and you know what? Something else needs to be said about how much value TJ has brought to crypto research and knowledge, because he has employed me for 4 years to be able to talk crap and find good things about anything. I'm not tied to any specific project or token, rather a true and tried crypto researcher that's publicly going through the process of trading the most volatile asset class on the planet, which is crypto. And I can do it in front of all of you and share my internal thoughts. And really I don't have any of those those blocks. He never stopped me from saying anything that I wanted to say. Literally the best boss I could have ever imagined having. Big shout out to you, TJ. As I said yesterday, he's going to turn into TJ Buffett. I mean, the guy is an absolute genius when it comes to markets, bond yields, equities, everything. Now, where is Bitcoin at? Bitcoin cycle tops and bottoms. All right. So this is from Titan of Crypto. History suggests that there's still room for a final explosive run before the cycle tops out. So historically, you know, these RSIs, they have followed this general downtrending resistance line, right, on the RSI. There is no denying of that. Something I found very, very curious about the chart in this design is we have never had the foothold, the staircase to punch up and beyond this downward trend line in the RSI ever. In the entire history of Bitcoin, we have never had this amount of strength and level ground to punch up from. It's like, you know, in fighting, you want to have that solid stance. You want to have the nice pivot, right? This chart tells me that Bitcoin is about to knock the hell out of previous all-time highs. Oh my God. You guys don't believe who's calling me. Where are you? Yeah. Oh, I am on a show right now, Owen. You twit. All right, I'll see you. I am hanging up on you now. That was Owen. He's out there with Isaac right now, and he is they're at Home Depot. Okay, and this is not a fake story. I heard this, right, just this banging coming from outside my my door, and I go out there. They're in the closet hanging up some shelves. You know, they're making some room for all the you know, the cords. We have a lot of cords. And I go in there, I was like, what the hell are you doing? He's got a chisel and he's hammering the chisel down behind a piece of wood. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying not to punch a hole in the wall. And I was like, okay, I'm glad that you thought to not punch a hole in the wall with the hammer. That's great. But use a piece of thin wood behind the hammerhead so that you can just put the damn hammer in there, or the cat's paw, and then pop it out without popping a hole in the wall. It's things like that that men, dads, trad dads, we need to pass this knowledge on to the younger generation. They want to be based. They need those slight little adjustments, you know, to actually succeed. Drew, you're going to help them learn how to use a wedge. Yeah, 100%, 100%, man. But shout out to the boys. Shout out to the boys. Hopefully they'll listen out to you. I hung up on you, Owen, but I still love you, okay? Now, oh yeah, there's Alex O Crypto. Huge shout out to Alex O Crypto, you guys. He goes live at right around like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning for market open. He's got a wonderful, beautiful family, based as they come. Though he's from Snow, Mexico, he gets my love. Huge shout out to you, Alex O Crypto. You know, we're going to be starting the redirects, and actually we're redirecting to Sin City Crypto after this. And you might see a special guest appearing on that show today after this. Now, this is some words of wisdom from Lawyered, my buddy here, Lawyered, from the libertarian community on Reddit. Low status people would love social credit scores because obedience is one of the few metrics that they can compete on, from Michael Malice. Just a little bit of words of wisdom, right? Maybe the reason why socialism is an agenda is because people are lazy and they don't want to do anything, and they want a, you know, kind of an easy plug in to existence. They don't want to strive for more. But I know that the vast majority of you out there watching this show right now are indeed striving for more. And I compliment you. I salute you for striving for more in this world. Oh, snap. Thank you very much, DZ. All right. All right. DZ, pop it in here. Leave me my lighter now. I just appreciate that. And shout out to Alex O Crypto, gifting 5 blockchain basement memberships. You savage. You savage. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much for helping out the community, man, supporting the blockchain basement, the Discover Crypto family. Now, Eric Trump has chosen violence, and not the kind of violence you'd think. He has chosen monetary violence. Let's have a listen.
Look at the amount of money that BlackRock's putting into cryptocurrency, right? Look at the amount of money, all of them. if you went back 12 months, not a single one of them was talking about treasuring any Bitcoin assets, any kind of crypto assets. Now all of a sudden Schwab's doing it and Fidelity's doing it.
But is there room for everybody? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, listen, I think the people who embrace it the quickest are going to win the race. And I think those that don't embrace it, you know what they're going to do? They're going to die a very slow and painful death. And you're already seeing that. Look at the success of Coinbase. I mean, look at their stock relative to everybody else, right? I mean, crypto is leading the way. It's what people want. It's an incredible generational play, but it also solves all the problems of modern day finance, which is the fact that it's lethargic, it's slow, it's costly. It's costly as hell. You know this better than anybody. I mean, it's inefficient. Look at your FX rates every single day, right? That all gets eliminated. And it's also really punitive because there's people at the other side, who will make the decision as to, Joe, you're not getting banked. You know why? Because you're a conservative. And so we're going to take away your bank accounts. We're going to destroy your business. We're going to take away your...
This is just a hypothetical thing you're saying here.
It's not a hypothetical thing.
No, I mean about me being a conservative.
Well, it's very hypothetical, Joe. It's very
hypothetical.
Very hypothetical.
Bro, I'm liking that energy. Little Eric Trump coming out from the top ropes. Shout out to it. Now his pops, his pops didn't have a hand in the statue. But we got to go look at the statue. There was and I'm kind of digging this whole Trump Gaddafi meta that we've entered into this last few weeks here. This has been erected. I think this is in Washington, D.C. This is Trump as a golden statue holding a Bitcoin. Okay. Now, is Trump the dictator that can save America? Does America need to just admit that it's a technocracy owned by corporations and government partnerships and just admit that there's government control of what we can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do? Should we just admit it and kind of go the Gaddafi route? I don't know. You tell me. I was actually a pretty big fan of Gaddafi. Anyone that doesn't know what happened to Gaddafi, the amount of migration that he stopped from coming into the EU and overloading France and all of those other countries, which we see is absolutely happening. They got Gaddafi out. Hillary came, she saw, he died, and now a massive influx of immigrants are overtaking an entire country. Honestly, many, many countries. It's been around. Those countries have been around longer than most. Shout out to Gaddafi. Pour some liquor. Hold on. Okay. You didn't see it there, but I just poured some out. Was it liquor? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Now let's hop into the rest of these stories here. We got a lot to cover here. BlackRock spot ETFs just bought 1,208 Bitcoin, and then also 5,760 Ethereum on September 17th. We're seeing positive inflows on the BlackRock ETFs. This is good. The return of ETF inflows, it's like you see it happening and it's like, okay, the institutions are buying. I do think that there will be some unwinding of ETFs when the expected bear market comes into play. This is a great note too. Jay Halla. Gaddafi had so many resources that he paid the citizens a dividend off the earnings. Shout out to that. Shout out to Gaddafi. Now, Bitcoin never had this hockey stick inflection until the global risk index crossed positive, just like it did. Now, and this is something that it's blue-balled right at this inflection point, right? It's blue-balled right at this inflection point, but right now, this is the same kind of thing we were looking at earlier, where it's, remember the RSI having that kind of generalized shelf? The global risk index is also built up that same shelf. I've never seen this happen before in Bitcoin history. And I feel that Bitcoin is going so much higher from here. It's just a matter of when I hit personal profit expectation levels and what I want to do with that money. I want to move into all of those things. I feel like I should have a whole show on Libya and Gaddafi. I really do. I don't want that to be lost. I don't want the history of Gaddafi to be lost. Now, here we go. The Daily Mail is reporting that Jimmy Kimmel faces federal investigation after telling viewers Charlie Kirk suspect 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was a MAGA supporter. Okay. And now the left comes out, oh my God, you can't cancel us. We can't get fired from our jobs for something that we say. What do you think has been happening to conservatives for the last 8 years? You've called us deplorables. You called us Nazis. You called us all the most horrible things that you could possibly come up with. And now you're surprised. Little Jimmy Kimmel lost his stupid ass job. Go be a landscaper, Jimmy. Go be a landscaper. Be gone. Right? Take one of those illegal immigrant jobs. Right? We deported him. Go take up one of those jobs, you twit. All right. Not going to spend too much time crashing out about that. Intel jumps 17% after Nvidia agrees to buy $5 billion stake. Oh my God. So now Nvidia taking a very large monetary interest in Intel. Not quite surprised by this. I call this the technological financial centipede, the system that's feeding itself. They're going to buy each other's products. They're going to raise up each other's earnings, and they're going to take more loans out for those product increases. You know, honestly, I see a lot of innovation within many, many different companies on the traditional market side. Even a shampoo company, they came out. This was absolutely shocking. They redesigned the shape of their shampoo bottles, and now the company saw a massive sales surge, proving that smart design can indeed deliver powerful results. The more you know. Now, in terms of quantitative tightening and where the monetary system is going, Bank of England reduces the quantitative tightening to 70 billion euros, mashing estimates. All right. This, you know, a little bit of easing, a little bit of weakness from macro markets. It's no surprise to me. And when I see the comparison of, you know, how do we hedge against this monetary responsibility, there's a lot of conversations like, I want to get gold and Bitcoin. And I can totally understand the gold play. I personally, if I'm buying gold, I got to make sure that it's got an assay card, verification, because buying gold, you can get scammed, right? You absolutely can get scammed buying gold. Check this out. So the fake gold bars with tungsten is definitely a thing. They have the same density, nearly identical weight, but you can't fake Bitcoin. Math cannot be counterfeited. This is why, you know, when I was going through the process of trying to protect my monetary value during the great print of flu season, gold was definitely included in my basket of commodities. Now, and great advice, Jay Holla, don't ever buy gold off eBay. Absolutely not. Like, the only place I buy gold is off JM Bullion. I think someone else dropped me another website of a good spot as well. I've just had really good luck with JM Bullion. But you can absolutely be scammed in gold. There's a lot of scammers that fill those bars up with tungsten and then leave people with a much less valuable commodity. This is why I love Bitcoin so much. Is Avalanche getting even more spicy on me? Don't tell me that. David, don't tell me that Avalanche is getting even more spicy. I'm going to crash out. I'm having FOMO. Even though I own Avalanche, I am having FOMO about Avalanche. I'm not going to lie. I'm having extreme FOMO about Avalanche. So what are we? Oh, okay. Not too bad. 33.79. You know, and I left a pretty good moon bag behind when I G'd it at $52 a piece. It was actually right around there. Insane that I hit $52 a piece, actually, looking at this chart, because that was right there. But I did add to it, right? I added more Avalanche right around $15. I didn't hit like the Pico bottom, but Avalanche punching up real aggressively. I'm having FOMO. I'm having Avalanche AVAX FOMO. It hurts. Okay. Is Trump about to rug us, though? Let's take a look. Trump dev wallet removed 208,000 Trump tokens, or $1.7 million, and 1.85 million USDC in liquidity over 11 hours ago. And actually, this is about 20 hours ago now. And then they deposited 200,000 Trump tokens into the OKX exchange. Interesting. Maybe they're getting ready to jeet that. Now, speaking of jeets, y'all might be new here, but one of the most infamous jeets in all of crypto history, the lore behind the myth, the legend, Sam Bankman-Fried has returned. And actually, I got to share my jeet tweet here. I am live on jeet here, so I'm going to get this out. Let him know, because we are still going hard. Even, you know what? And jeet on Pump Fun, higher lows all day long, never giving up. And all their advice about, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I mean, they can literally kiss my ass. Like, I'm not going to be sitting there taking advice from trenchers, right? I'm going to move it forward my own way. Not give me advice and expect me to take the advice immediately. I don't care. I make thousands of videos. I trade every single day. We make massive, massive trade moves for the entire community, and I can give a shit less about your trencher input, right? I'm going to do the project my own way. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried. SBF, the X account, shows unusual activity with a mass influx of follows, and also the FTT token surged past $1 USDT with a 22.5% jump in the past hour. Let's go check it out. Sam Bankman-Fried, are you making some moves from prison here? Look how far down the project is. Oh my God. This is, if this returns back to previous levels, it's not going to be XRP. It's not going to be Hex. That's the most hated rally in crypto. If FTT returns anywhere close to its previous all-time highs, this is going to be the most hated rally in crypto by me, by crypto natives that have been around for multiple cycles. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And this thing surged to over $1, right? There is some shenanigans going on with FTT, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. I didn't leave any crypto on an exchange. My average practice is to leave crypto off exchanges. I don't trust leaving my spot crypto on exchanges anyways. And I would implore you to take the lessons of the past and take that advice. Do not trust exchanges with your crypto unless you're okay leaving it liquid, okay? Please be careful. Please be careful out there. These are a lot of lessons that I've had to go through and learn over the past few cycles that I want to share with you. And I hope that these messages make it to your ear hole, right? Now, Avalanche, the transactions have skyrocketed in 2025, fueling record activity across layer ones. Now, this paired with the RWA influx, I think they gained 140% over the last 30 days on Avalanche RWA involvement in transactions, as well as something very, very interesting being hinted upon. So they posted this yesterday, Avalanche, AVAX, Dream Combo, Avalanche plus who? Now, before I get into this, who would make the best combo team crypto project set out there? Would it be Avalanche and Solana? Would it be Avalanche and XRP? Would it be Avalanche and Ondo? You tell me which route you would want to see Avalanche take to really kind of combine forces here. But they are picking up some key players from a very, very powerful protocol that's literally eyeing all-time highs right now. Ex-Solana comms chief joins Avalanche Labs, Ava Labs, to supercharge AVAX growth. Absolutely insane. This is what they needed. You know, this is what they need. They need better comms, and they need a wallet. Like Rabby Wallet is pretty damn good. Rabby Wallet is pretty damn good, but they need to come up with a wallet product like the Phantom Wallet. The Phantom Wallet supercharged the Solana ecosystem. It's easy as Facebook to use. It allowed people to just flow in and flow out, create massive amounts of volume very, very quickly. And it really, in my humble opinion, did spur a lot of the growth that we are currently seeing on the charts for Solana. I do hope to see this comms chief bring this to a whole nother level. Very, very interesting story. Now, I think it's pretty healthy to see crypto projects try to work together. Crypto doesn't need to be so tribalistic, right? It doesn't need to be so tribalistic, because the problems that crypto is setting out to solve are massive. They're on a social media side with the pump fund and the stars, or the arena. It used to be Stars Arena on Avalanche, Stars Arena / the arena on Avalanche. SocialFi approach there. You have Zora, which is the SocialFi approach on base, and you of course have the pump funners and all of their chaos in the Solana ecosystem, right? But you can't deny Solana has created an immense amount of growth, and people have, if you were buying, cheap Solana, I knew some Solana maxis that were stacking at $12. They don't answer the phone anymore right now. I'm just kidding. They're doing great. I still talk to them, but they made it big off of having that conviction in Solana, and huge shout out to that. Now, Something I got in conviction in Chainlink. Chris Barrett talking about Sibos. Starting in 10 days, 21 hours and 21 minutes. Now this is cut down to 9 days and 19 hours and some odd minutes. Link higher. Okay. I'm always very creepy, very utility based about Chainlink. Now, this is also a Chainlink. Saudi Awal Bank SAB, one of Saudi Arabia's largest banks with $100 billion in assets, signs innovation agreement with Chainlink. SAB will leverage the cross-chain interoperability protocol and the CRE to drive on-chain finance and the cross-chain interoperability across the region. Very, very bullish. Oh, snap. What up, TradeFly? Shout out to TradeFly. You guys, he literally flies and trades. Okay. Very based individual. Good to see you up in the chat, man. Hope all is well. And actually, I've got some plans. I'm putting together a pretty big show in the background with some names you might be very familiar with. We're going to talk about 2026. We're going to talk about if 2026 is going to suck or if this time is truly different and we are setting up for an up-only moment. That is a main thing that is on many people's minds, and I want a full group panel discussion / argument about if it's going to be good or not, right? Because that's going to matter for my bags, making that decision. Do I jeet when these levels finally do get hit, or is there more juice just to gigasend crypto to absolute Valhalla? That's the thing that we're talking about here. Now, something that hasn't sent to Valhalla, but I highlighted at the beginning of the show, Cardano, right? Cardano. How big is the show? Wouldn't call it huge. Absolutely. Absolutely, Papa Goose. I haven't seen anyone I can ban yet. Where's the I can't find anyone I can ban yet. I can't. You know what? Pump Fund needs to give me the ban button. Pump Fund needs to give me the ban button. I need the ban button on Pump Fund too. Because I could use the ban button like every 5 seconds in there. Now, here's the story with Cardano and XRP. There's conversation. There's conversation happening with Charles Hoskinson, potentially looking at a connection, right? A connection to Brad Garlinghouse, maybe trying to make things work out, trying to make things all better. Is it bad or good to see XRP lock in with Cardano? Now, Cardano, in terms of price action, is way behind XRP, right? There's no denying that. There's no denying that. The chart shows it. The sentiment of the community shows it. And, you know, Cardano's been doing stuff. Like we had Charles Hoskinson. This is the big interview that he did. I was a little bit let down by it. Let's see here. I'm going to get you. All right, Avid. All right, Avid. Gotcha. All right. I got you. Hold on. Wait a minute.
You are banned!
All right, here we go. So this is interesting. So some folks get to pull back, but I'm just going to go through Charles Hoskinson's profile here. He's off to Mongolia again for some eagle-assisted hunting. If he hangs out with the Who, the metal band The Who again, I'm going to crash out. I'm going to crash out if he hangs out with The Who again. That's like one of my favorite bands. One of my favorite bands is The Who. It's a Mongolian heavy metal band. I had a question in the chat about how could someone that's looking towards God and that wants to learn the Bible more, be more eloquent in that nature, possibly listen to heavy metal music. I would say to you this, my good sir, if you are listening to this show after the fact, Jesus went to the places that were the most uncomfortable for the word of God. I spent about 10 years in a heavy metal band singing about the revelations to people that were heathens. They were the furthest from God. I went to the places where God was the furthest away from, right? The devil horns, the constant looking for, you know, whiskey and drugs and things like that. I went there and I sang about the revelations. I planted as many seeds as I could from how I saw, you know, my spirituality and my relationship with God. And I went to the uncomfortable spots. Jesus did that too. And I think that heavy metal, God-fearing people could absolutely rock some heavy metal. And you know what? God, you know, angels and demons, they clash, right? Death to the fallen angels here on earth. I'm going to make the devil uncomfortable to be here on earth. The devil reigns over the earth, and it's my job to make him uncomfortable. Let's keep on moving through the stories. I just had to address that comment. Question, reasonable question. Now, this is other news for XRP. DBS, Franklin Templeton, and Ripple partnered to launch trading and lending solutions powered by tokenized money market funds and the RLUSD. Franklin Templeton is not a small organization to be hooking your talons into for those transactional movements. Where you lose me, XRP Army, is when you talk about having a market cap the size of Bitcoin this cycle. Now, I could see XRP lasting at least a few cycles, and I can see XRP hitting $10 next round. Conservatively, if XRP and Ripple keep the lights on, they keep their little hype train going, and we have a generalized continuation of the overall 4-year cycle rinsing and repeating, I absolutely can see XRP over $10 in 2030. For the time being, my targets are still within that $5 to $6 range. I think you're reaching for way too much looking for that $8 to $10 XRP this cycle. That's my word of advice. That's what I am thinking of. And I actually do hold some XRP. And obviously, this is not financial advice. This is advice to myself and my wife because she's listening. I hold a little bit of it. I forgot to jeet it as well. Bought it at 17 cents. And I plan to jeet right around $4 to $5, right? Get rid of the rest of it. No problem at all. Now, this has been absolutely crazy. I showed you guys the main gainer of the day, which is indeed Aster. And I want to dive into what this project is. It's at 73 cents right now. This thing has been going up and to the right only, and all eyes are on CZ for a very particular reason. Let's hop into it because it all starts with this. BNB breaking $1,000 today. Diamond Hand, a guy that bought $1,000 of BNB for 1,000 tokens 8 years ago. The price was $1 a piece. Now that 999 BNB are worth $1 million, a 1,000x return. Absolutely savage. Pat yourself on the back. I'm sure he's out there riding off into the sunset. Hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you, good sir. Let's hop into what's going on with this Aster thing, though. Okay. 300,000 views, and the next day, CZ directly tweeting about a DEX coin freshly released that clearly wants to rival Hyperliquid, also backed by Ava Labs. CZ will stop at nothing to rival Hyperliquid. In fact, you must understand the psychology behind it. CZ feels personal about this, not because Hyperliquid took a lot of Binance mindshare and competition for same users, but because CZ was first to the DEX perp game in 2019 and feels if Jeff ripped him off or stole his idea and did it better. He was still stopping at nothing to try and dethrone them. The greatest show and tell of fundamentals is price. The coin isn't even on any other platform right now, just the native DEX itself. CZ will list the Binance spot 110%, and their way to beat Hyperliquid will be trying to scam pump it and get users behind them by winning from their crime maxing. Study how Hyperliquid built a loyal army because Jeff enriched the users' money talks. Spot on take. Spot on take. And this is where crypto lore comes into play. Historical context of where these projects, they seem to pop out of nowhere. But if you peel back some of the layers of the onion, you start to see CZ's a slighted past crypto lover that has seen Hyperliquid take that limelight from him. He got put in a slammer for a couple of months. He went in, he got jacked, and now he's back. Oh yeah, he's back. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, Syndicate, in terms of Aerodrome, allocated 1% of supply as Aerodrome bribes captured 166 million V-Aero votes worth $215 million, generating 25x normal bribe efficiency. Project spending $10 million on market makers when $1 million in V-Aero bribes creates deeper liquidity. Every base launch now runs through Aerodrome. B-Aero controls the entire liquidity layer. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. This is Brian Armstrong. You know, same thing. It's like you have CZ over here. You have Hyperliquid, the decentralized exchange, really setting the pace on DEX. And then Coinbase with the golden card of having approval from the US government to have a license to chill, right? Who's going to win this fight? Probably all of them. Probably all of them, because crypto seems to be getting more and more mainstream. Early adoption wins. Early adoption wins. That is absolutely crazy to see. Is near ripping too? God, charts are exciting today, you guys. The charts are exciting today. I did want to actually look at near. I was trying to wake up. Where are we at? God, number 34. All right, up to $3. So yeah, we're pumping a little bit. 13% on the week, 13% on the day. Okay. A lot of work to do on the year. A lot of work to do on the year. A lot of work to do on the year for me. Okay. This is the ships rising with all tides type situation. But you know what? If you're buying the lows of that chart, you're not feeling bad from the pumps that you're experiencing today. All based around this, finally Bitcoin dominance giving up some of that juice. Even though Bitcoin is moving up back to those old all-time highs, the dominance sliding downhill. This is alt season. It is here. It is literally here. Okay. Shout out to Matt Malik. He's got a big show on the Arena. If you are an AVAX native, you're on the Arena. Pay attention. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today for a talk with Jason DeSimone of the Arena, directly with my man's Matthew Malik, giving some deep insight on what's to come in that ecosystem. Now, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, says that he's in DC, Washington, DC, to get the crypto market structure legislation passed and making sure that we never have another Gary Gensler. But guess who's also out there? Chainlink. Chainlink seems to have found a seat at every single crypto-related conversation in DC somehow. I am bullish, and I think there's so much higher to go on Chainlink. I really, really do. I really do. This movement from the battle of the baldies, right? DZ needs to get in there and put his hat in the ring, not his head, because they're all bald and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. He needs to throw his hat in the ring, get in there, put the suit on, get in front of regulators and let them know. Maybe we should make a mutant ape reserve or a Bored Ape Yacht Club reserve, right? Or Cardano reserve. DZ's probably going to outperform me this cycle because of the shots that I take at Cardano. He's probably going to do it someday. Now here, shots fired. Richard Hart. There's been reports of spam emails going out with a drainer, or at least it sure does look like one, with the name Pulse Rewards in the URL. If you connect to it, you probably get your wallet drained entirely. Don't connect your wallet to random crap. Okay, and that should go without saying, right? Don't connect your wallet to random crap. It's a pretty easy rule to follow. Rule of thumb. Bring back the saying rule of thumb too. Bring back the saying rule of thumb. Holy cow. David Middleton up 69% on a fresh AVAX long. Good job. How's my Discord doing? Holy God, they are printing. Oh my gosh. Elise, you psycho, going after the short on Morpho. She's doing it to hurt my feelings. We got MCO pumping it in there. I love the trades going on in the Discord here. John Dalton leading the way, giving the reason to the new traders. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now, there's something going on with these Hex tablets. Something is going on with these Hex tablets. So Gabrielle got some talking to do about these Hex tablets. Let's have a listen to it.
Yesterday, I got an offer from a Hexician to purchase these 2 tablets that I received in the mail. I will be selling these tablets for $150 to this man. What's up, brother? How's it going? Good. It's not every day you get to meet your exit liquidity. I get to look in the eye of the man who buys the scam tablets. Pleasure. Yo, nice to meet you. You want to see the merch over here?
Sir, absolutely.
You got to inspect, make sure
You
that
know
it's
where
all
this is
in
going,
order.
right?
Where's it going? Where's it going?
Right next to my Richard Hart shrine.
You have a shrine?
Of course.
Now, make sure it's all there. Make sure all the oh, it even comes with the sticker.
Yes, sir.
my
Right
God.
next to my Red Bull cans. What you don't understand about us Richard Hart maxis is that we have a fetish for getting scammed. We love to be exit liquidity.
They have a fetish for being scammed. That's awesome.
150. Let's see it.
Count it out. Count it out.
1, 2,
Last 150 I have. The rest of it's in the ecosystem.
$100. 150.
The rest of it is 99% down. But we love it.
99% down. We love it. There's been some aggravation within the Hex community. Something is going on. You know, Richard put out this post yesterday. Is butthurt, feel like complaining? This is the thread for you. Now, Corey Costa, I've kind of stayed away from working with him because he just has been so focused on Hex. But I think he's speaking for the larger Hex community right now. And it's like in crypto, even XRP holders, I like XRP holders more than no corners, right? I like people that are getting involved with crypto, getting in there, doing things, getting involved, right? Kind of like, you know, the approach that Eric Trump was talking about. So the same kind of goes with Hex, right? Even though they've been rugged, they've been beat down by the price action. Oh my God, David is just absolutely printing in there. God, good job, dude. Protect them profits, baby. Protect your profits, okay? All right. Here's Corey Costa's response to the butthurt request from Richard Hart, okay? All right, Richie Rich, let's be honest with one another about the state of PulseChain. First, the cores have been in the absolute shitter for the last 4 years. Second, because the core coins have been in the shitter, all of the OGs that, you know, claim to be retired really ended up not having a pot to piss in and aren't retired at all, resulting in them compensating in various ways. Majorly, many of the influencers have launched either dogshit tokens that end up rugging and then they profit off their viewers, or they build subpar dApps that enrich themselves and they justify it by the ethos of, well, I helped grow PulseChain by building something and you sauced the project for. So there are very little dApps that deserve respect and recognition thus far, and that is really disappointing because there's been a lot of people trying to build on this PulseChain Hex movement, and it's not gone well. It's not gone well. Internet Money, a notable exception and should be the gold standard for PulseChain. They actually built something special that isn't complete shit and just results in an exchange of capital within the same 8, right? You have 8 people basically going to and from, making the ecosystem look alive with big chunks of cash. Leaderless communities create this type of environment, this hollow shell of what could have been. You want glory, Richard? Come back and set a standard because there hasn't been one since you've been less active. Every community has a leader, regardless of the bullshit decentralization ethos, which has been espoused but gone since 2017. These are my complaints, my sir. And you know what, Corey? Okay. Very well said, Corey. And this is from someone that believed in Hex and PulseChain with everything. He put himself out there for years, still going down the same line. Kind of looks like a real one to me. Corey kind of looks like a real one to me. Maybe I should have him on the show. Maybe I should have Corey on the show because I really like that honesty in this write-up. And I think that I want to see more of this honesty from dying ecosystem participants. Okay. I want to see more of this honesty. Now, here's also honesty. Krasenstein admits that he's Antifa after Trump informed the United States patriots that he is a designated Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. He's also going to be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa, aka Jorge Oros, be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to the matter. You know what? This probably plays into that RICO case that Trump proposed last week. Definitely feels like they are connected. And, you know, the world, it's a crazy place. The charts, they're doing great for us, you guys, but if you're kind of like me, you're not afraid of talking about your faith, and even if you are from the level of just learning, like I am not a Bible expert at all. I knew the Revelation's really good, and just some parts of the Bible when I was in the heavy metal scene and writing the overlook for it. I need to get back to understanding more specific Bible verses to be able to reference them. This world needs leadership, right? This world needs leadership. And I think where I'm at right now is that I'm going to lead with a smile on my face, love in my heart, and one in the chamber. Okay. I'm going to give benefit of the doubt, but be ready if they don't have that love. If they look to cause harm, right? If they look to cause harm, you got to be ready. Okay. So I will say that, if you have the legal ability, definitely implore you to take advantage of that ability to protect yourself. It's not that you got to go out there and be looking for a bunch of trouble. That is not the way to do things, not by a long shot. Really the play here, I think, is lead in with an open heart, with an open mind, and one in the chamber. Right? I think that's the way to play. What a crazy day it has been on the charts. Starting with the New Testament. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to start with the New Testament. The Old Testament, I mean, it's the these and thys. I'll get used to them, but I think I'm going to be definitely starting with the New Testament. Go back in the charts. What do you got? Hernanov? What do you need to look at? Let's see here. Flip it and send it to them. Can you explain why I need BTC to my no coiner fam? Okay. So over the last year, your $100,000 has turned into $87,000 in actual buying power. The U.S. government is in a debt crisis that they have literally never been this level at in the entire history of the United States, and they have printed 60% of all currency in circulation over the course of the last 5 years. The only way for the system to continue surviving is to print more money, to cause more inflation, to make your life more difficult. What Bitcoin does is retain your buying power. You'll go from the year where Bitcoin, you'll take 4 Bitcoin to get a home. 5 years from now, after the US government moves through that printing process, and guess what they're doing it for? They're doing it for AI and data centers and power plants. Regardless of what you want to see in the US, they're going to print anyways, and that's going to devalue your dollar by another 20 or 30%. So instead of your 100K that you had last year, now it's 90 or 87K. It's actually going to turn into around $60,000 in buying power as the price of goods increases in the opposite direction, up and to the right. You can stay poor, or you can protect yourself with Bitcoin. There you go. I feel like that's a clippable moment. I feel like that's something that you can show someone that's not involved with crypto, that's on the outside looking in, trying to understand what Bitcoin is. I just gave it to you in a nutshell. Please clip that. Please clip that. Because that is the reality that we live in. That is the reality that we live in. Okay. Very, very simply put. Very, very simply put. Absolutely, Hernanov. Let's go back to the charts. Let's see what we're looking at here. So busy with content. I didn't really do any trading today, but the spot bags are feeling juicy. What? It's going back to the highs. It's going back to the highs. Oh my God. Okay. I have to assume turbulence zone here. Old resistance, old support, generally resistance. There's got to be some turbulence found here, but I don't know, man. I mean, this is the moment where it's like Coinbase is now admitting that vast majority of all those loans are going to be happening on Morpho. Aerodrome is locked up, the token launch, the DEX access from Coinbase. This is crazy. This is crazy that it's actually happening. It's actually happening, right? And shout out to you if you got in position before this went down. This is a very, very beautiful time to be involved with crypto. And yes, even though I feel like XRP has less upside than others, I think XRP is going to outpace the dollar And that's a lot to retain buying power. Now, when it comes to your personal targets, I have personal targets in my mind, and when the bag hits this level, then I'll cheat it, right? But that's built in my mind. It's not for me to decide other people's stuff. This is my process, just publicly aired. And, how I'm going to be retaining it long term is taking advantage of Bitcoin IRA and Arculus cold storage. We have a code DC20, 20% off the cold storage device that will turn you into your own bank. And then also the tax advantages that you can find within a Roth IRA or general IRA structures. You got to call Bitcoin IRA, get an actual person on the phone, and find out all of the tax advantages that could be involved with getting into a Bitcoin IRA. So I do implore you to do so. They are a great channel sponsor. And soon we're going to be rolling out some new integrations with Breakout Prop. If you've been watching, FOMOing all of these massive gains, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at 16, 20, 50, 80%, 200% gains in the Discord right now to my left here. If you want to learn how to trade, I implore you to stay tuned for Breakout Prop. We have an excellent discount code. So here is Bitcoin IRA. Call them 877-936-7175. Again, 877-936-7175 to really get someone on the phone to talk to you about how you can protect yourself and your Bitcoin from, you can take advantage of some tax advantages that are there within the IRA. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. They can say it better than me. They know all the parameters of how they can do it. And also, this is Breakout Prop, you guys. You have to pass the test. You can take many, many different levels of this test. Anywhere from $60 to take the test and get access to $1,000 or a $5,000 trading portfolio, up to you can pay $1,000. You pass the trading test with their certain parameters. You have to follow the parameters, not have more than a 4% drawdown on that bag. You have to gain 10%, right? If you pass that test, you get access to $100,000 to trade with, and you can take your profits out the day of. Okay, so please take advantage of it. Code DISCO, capital DISCO. It's huge. It's beautiful. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there in the Discover Crypto blockchain basement ecosystem. You guys are the absolute best. Things are going ballistic, but you know what? We're going to keep cool heads. We're going to keep cool heads. We're going to pay attention to these pairing charts, and we're going to figure out when the perfect time to cheat is. I love you guys. I will see you on the next episode. I bid you adieu. And with that being said, listen to this message from Daddy.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.